Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. So ISKCON Seshadripuram presents Gita Gyan, essence of Bhagavad Gita. So this course we have completed. And today we'll be starting with a new chapter of the Bhakti Vriksha. Second week is today is there, and we'll be covering today the chapter of source of knowledge. So once again, welcome everyone. And we'll take the blessing of Jagannath, Baldev, Subhadramai, Gaur Nitai, Panchatattva, uh, Nrsimha Dev Bhagwan, Parshuram Bhagwan, Gaur Nitai, and we'll start our classes. We'll start with the prayers. If possible, devotees, you can unmute yourself. Uh, Maybe you can repeat it after me. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnana Jana Shalakaya
Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Jana Shalakalaya
Chakshurum Militam Yena Tashmai Shri Gurve Nama
Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Gurave Namaha.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale
Namo Vishnu
Padaya
Padaya
Krishna Pristhaya
Bhutale
Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine
Srimad
Bhakti Vedanta
Swamin
Swami
Iti Namine
Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine
Namaste
Namaste Saraswati
Devi
Devi
Gauravani
Gauravani
Pracharine
Pracharine
Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine
Nirvikesha Sunyavadi
Shunyavadi
Pashyata
Pashyata Deshatarine
Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Jai
Jai
Shri
Shri
Krishna
Krishna Chaitanya
Chaitanya
Prabhu
Prabhu
Nityananda
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vashati Gaura Bhakta Vinda
Shri
Shri
Advaita
Advaita
Gadadhara
Gadadhara
Srivasati
Srivasati
Gaura
Gaurabhakta
Bhakta
Vinda
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Hare
Krishna
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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama
Hare Rama Hare
Hare
Rama
Hare
Rama Hare Hare
Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jagataka Swami Tinamine Namacharya Padani Taiga Padani Gaurakata Namate Garakara Matarine Mukham Karoti Vachalam Pangam Nante Grimyat Karpata Mahamande Shri Kurum Dinataranam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaran. Hare Krishna. So let us take the blessings of Srila Prabhupada, because this program is dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder of ISKCON. We'll take his blessing and we'll start with our chapter new. If possible, maybe you can turn on your videos also if it permits. Otherwise, it's fine also. You can attend the class like that also. So those devotees who are joining for the first day today, so let me tell you, this section has been divided into 4 parts. The first part will be starting with speaking your mind. So this is one question which is flashing on your screen. So it will help you. This is known as a icebreaker question. So it will help you to break the silence and know each other. So last week also we have introduced each other devotees. So maybe for today also, we are a bigger part of family. Maybe we are not of the same blood, but we are a bigger part of the family which Srila Prabhupada has given us, that family of ISKCON. So maybe when you are speaking, you can tell your name, where are you from, and what are you doing. So it will help the other devotees also to know you. So world is very small, so you never know when you will be meeting the other devotees also. Okay, so coming with this icebreaker questions, which is known as speaking your mind. So so in this material world where we are living actually, so every time, or if you want to do any other activities also, there might be possible of chances will be there that you have a doubt or you have a question. So when you have a doubt or questions, so whom do you ask usually and why? Can somebody answer? So with this is known as like icebreaker. Who wants to go first? Balram Prabhu, you want to try?
Yes, I would ask, generally I ask my mother.
Mhm.
She is well versed in all this Krishna consciousness, Krishna Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana, etc. And she knows me very well about my mentality, everything.
Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Balram Prabhu. It might be, yeah. Thank you. Any other devotees? Okay, Ganga Mataji, want to go next? It can be anything. We have so many problems. So many questions we'll be having when we are seeing anything. Okay, why this phone is this one or what? Anything it might be there. Yes, Mataji, want to answer? Mataji, we're able to see you maybe, but
Regarding Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji, if I have any doubts, I will ask my auntie, who is a devotee of Krishna consciousness, Krishna ISKCON temple, and I will ask my teacher.
okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ganga Mataji, for answering. Okay, who wants to go next? Mahita Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hello, Hare Krishna, everyone. This is Mahita from Bangalore. So, if I ever have any questions, I mostly will approach either my friends or my parents. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. And maybe second part of question, why is also there? Because we are seeking. Anyhow, okay, we'll go next according to alphabetical. Hima Mataji, is it possible to unmute yourself?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna everyone. This is Hema and I'm from Bangalore. And if I have question based on the situation, Prabhuji, example, if I'm in office, I'll ask with a particular person. And if I'm at home, then I'll ask my parents. And if anything related to my life, then I'll ask to my mentor.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. So next will be Sanjay Prabhu. Is it possible to unmute yourself and say? Prabhu, Haribol. Yeah, Prabhuji, you have unmuted, but we are not able to hear you, Prabhu. Maybe you can type also. That should be fine. I guess we are not able to hear you, Prabhu. In case you are speaking, Prabhu, we are not able to hear. Okay, we'll go to next devotees. Shruti Mataji, Hare Krishna. Is it possible to answer this question? So if you have a doubt or question, whom you ask and why?
Yes, Prabhu, Hare Krishna. So based on the doubt, I'll approach a person differently. If it is any question related to materially, then based on the topic, I will concern to the person spiritually. If it is like a Siksha Guru like that, I'll approach.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. We couldn't meet last week, having some seva, so I rushed it down.
I saw there was too many people on the prasadam side, and you are running. I saw no problem.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. So next will be Sushmita Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hi Krishna Prabhuji. Hi Krishna everyone. My name is Shushmita and I'm from Bangalore. If I have a question, I'll ask my parents or my mentor.
Okay. Thank you, Sushmita Mataji. Sanjay Prabhu, I guess your voice is not audible. Maybe you can check your audio once. Should be fine. Thank you, Sushmita Mataji, for answering. Yashika Mataji, next.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna everyone. My name is Yashika. I'm from Chandigarh. And if I have a doubt, I'll think I most probably go to a person who is an expert in the particular subject so that I can clear my doubt in a right way. So Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, Rahul Prabhu, you have joined on a right time. Let's see. We want to answer this question. We were discussing on this topic that if you have any doubt or questions, whom we will be asking and why. Would you like to please answer if possible?
Sir, Prabhuji, what is the question?
The question you can see on the screen as well. This is like speaking your mind. So we see in our life, we generally have some questions or some doubts will be there. So when any doubts or question is in your life, whom do you approach and why?
Either my father or teacher, because I'm still in school and the exams and also.
Perfect answer, Prabhu. So thank you, Rahul Prabhu. I guess I have covered everyone apart from Sanjay Prabhu. Sanjay Prabhu, you want to give it a try once more if it is possible? Otherwise, you can also ping on chat box. Yeah. So you might see like we will be having this relevant kind of questions to the relevant answers we are looking for that. It's a saying, if you see the questions, it is there as Mataji said, Yashika Mataji, she have hit the bullseye, we can say. So generally in our life also we see there will be a lot of questions will be there, lot of doubts will be there. Even take an example, if you want to cook also, when if you want to learn any subjects, if you want to do anything which we don't know, if you want to travel somewhere to new places, whom you will approach, you will try to approach a person who is expert on that subject and who can guide you without judging you. So that's if you are having a problem on mathematics, we approach a teacher of mathematics teacher. Not will be going to the other teacher. Other teachers might be able to also help, who is knowing that maths, but the mathematics teachers which is expert, he will be able to guide you or more. If you are able to go for what we say chemistry, so take chemistry teacher like that, whatever expert is there. So in this also material will we see there might be a spiritual questions might be also be there, and there is a spiritual source is there. Not everyone cannot answer like Srila Prabhupada and those spiritual source. So today we'll be able to understand what is the relevant source of knowledge, or what is the knowledge not anyone can tell. Like last week Yashika Mataji answers and asked questions. She asked that how we can understand actually like every whatever we are getting or whoever is saying is correct or not. So we'll see what in today class how we'll be coming to know this chapter 2 is known as source of knowledges. So before we begin our class, let me tell you also and have a quick what we say synopsis what we have discussed last week also, such that it will be helping our in benefit for the other devotees who couldn't join last week. So yes, so maybe I'll be have put in the slide matter also. It will be easy for you all devotee to remember. Can somebody say one point what they have we have discussed who were present in the last week? I guess who were there? I have that.
Differences between
Could I
human
answer?
and animal.
Okay, one point each devotee can say. I guess Hema Mataji was there, Yashika Mataji was there, Shushmita Mataji was there, Neha Mataji, Mahita Mataji, Balram Prabhu was also there. So one point each can tell. There are many points.
Prabhuji, like there are different types of difference between humans and animals, what we learn. And then we learn the similarities also, like what similarities are there, like eating, eating, depending, sleeping. Then what, like humans can ask the questions.
Yes. Thank you, Hema Mataji. Yashika Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I was about to say that the only difference between the animals and humans is that they can ask questions. Human can ask questions, but they don't.
Yes.
Mataji said.
Any other points? There are many other points also which we have discussed. Let's see who can remember.
Bhakti.
Mataji, we didn't cover about bhakti much. We started with Manushyama Sahasreshu, like out of many billions and billions of persons, actually one who tries to become perfect is there, like one who tries to understand Krishna.
Okay.
Today we'll be talking on this. You attended last week class, Mataji, Rupa Mataji?
I didn't attend it, sir.
No issue. So this is like a recap which we are doing, what we have discussed last week.
Okay.
Before jumping to today's topic. Last week topic was difference between animal and human life. So maybe with the interest of time, we have discussed like basically there is a 4 similarities are there between human and animals, which is eating, sleeping, mating, defending, ahar, nidra, bhaya, mathun. So we see this animals actually they also eat, we also eat, we also sleep, they also sleep. The only difference is there, man is a sophisticated animal. We do on a bed, we do eat with our forks, we might be living in our room, we might be sleeping on the sofa or mattresses. The animal will be doing on the road, they will be using their nails or like that. The only what was the difference which we discussed? generally these humans have that ability to ask the question.
Okay.
And we have seen also, like, there are different kind of questions actually we ask. When we have questions, we need answers also, isn't it?
Yes.
We saw that example also last week, how means we were trying to just Srila Prabhupada used to tell, when a person when we are there in the childhood, so we generally ask so many of questions. So what kind of questions we should be asking, then only it will be differentiated. So ability to judge the situation. Actually, if you see these animals can't ask question. They
Yes.
don't have that intelligence because their intelligence is not been developed. So humans, they have been gone, this brain has been viksit, or there's been developed. So that's the reason we can use our brain, or we can use our intelligence to ask this question: what are the kind of questions which will help us actually in our daily life also, any kind of problem which we today's question also we discuss. So we are approaching people. So are those relevant questions? Yes, these are relevant questions. It might be helping you on a daily to daily basis. But when somebody asks or somebody think on those lines, who am I actually? मैं कौन हूँ? Like, why I am suffering in this material world? Who is
Mm.
God? Why I came here? Why I'm like this? Why somebody is so rich? Why somebody is poor? Who is, like, when you ask the question like this, which is known as a self-realization, then the people goes on a right track. So that those are the relevant question. Athato Brahma Jigyasu. We have discussed that last week. And
Okay.
let's Mataji asked Yashika Mataji, what is the source of this answer? So today we'll be discussing on those chapters. Before somebody have raised, yeah, Sanjay Prabhu says, I would analyze what is making me doubt in the first phase, then approach a resource person. Okay. Yeah, so that's what Prabhu is saying. Thank you, Prabhu, for answering. And let's see what is the source of knowledge. Knowledge means gyan. So source means shrot. So everything have a source. Something is whatever we want to know, we need to approach. So basically, there are three types of pramanas, or we can say the source of the knowledge, which we'll be trying to discuss today. Okay, there are three types of pramana: pratyaksha pramana, anumana, and sabda. Let us discuss each thing, and then we'll be able to go into a very deep topic today is there, and then we'll be able to understand what is knowledge and what is this pramana. And so these are these three kind of evidence, or I can say usually if you see this Vedic knowledge is known as the praman. Praman means the proof, and this Vedic knowledge which we are getting is Shruti. So let's us understand this three, then we'll be jumping to this the source of the knowledge. So we'll discuss the first one, Pratyaksha Praman. So what does the Pratyaksha means actually? Pratyaksha Pramana means direct sense perception. Okay, can somebody say by seeing the slides what they have understood? It's very we have discussed in the Bhagavad Gita also. There are 24 elements in our body. These are the 10 elements. Does somebody remember?
Yes, Prabhu, the senses what we were talking, Prabhuji, how the animals, the touch and other things are similar. Karke.
Yes. So this is like the taste of, through the mouth we can taste, we can eat the foods. Through the hearing, through the ears, we can hear the sound vibration or whatever is there. Through eyes, we can see the beautiful things, and through whatever nose we can smell, and through the finger or the skin we can touch the thing. So this is if I tell you, okay, what we say, honey is a very sweet thing, and you'll be like imagining, okay, until unless if you go and if you open the bottle of honey and then lick it, then you'll be getting that is okay, yes, honey is really sweet. So this is the direct sense perception which you are in contact of that, and then you are having. So usually this pratyaksha pramana is known as direct sense perceptions. So usually you why we are talking about this is there, I'll be coming on that also. Usually our senses are not very perfect, we have some defects, we'll be coming to know. First let us see this five senses which we have discussed in that also. So example, if you see usually whatever we see actually, but we don't believe also sometimes. Because why? Because our senses are not perfect. So if you see sun rays are there, sun rays are there. Pratyaksha pramana means gaining of the knowledge through our senses. like what we are seeing through our eyes when we are hearing. So okay, somebody will be calling, then we'll be looking back, okay, my friend is calling. But most of the time this pratyaksha pramans, actually if you see, it gives an incomplete knowledge. Like when you see a stick half dipped into the water, it appears like it is bent. It's a concave and convex we studied in physics. It is because of the refraction of the light. But actually if it is not. When you look into a concave or convex mirror, the face sometimes, I don't know whether you have went to a fair and all, sometimes there will be a lot of mirrors will be there. The same person will be in each mirror. When in childhood, when I used to go with my father to the fair, mela and all, so we used to see this kind of so what is there, the face sometimes might be so big, or sometimes it might be so contracted, but in actually it's not the reality. So therefore we cannot acquire complete knowledge actually using our material senses, like these are the five senses which is there. Example is there, sometimes we see but we don't believe also. So if you take whether you're on a railway line, or if you go on a road, so if you stand from here to the down, you might be seeing like, yeah, there you will be thinking, okay, there is an end of the road is there. But does it mean that there is an end of the road? So according to this pratyaksha pramana, means what is seeing is believing. But there are many things which we see but we don't believe actually. Horizons, so when we go to ocean, we are oceans, so such a vast ocean will be there. With our naked eyes we won't be able to see. This is the example which I was showing, this concave one and convex one. So we are standing here, but in the mirror we'll be saying we are just upside opposite down. Sun rays, if you see, so sun rays is there, but it is very far, larger than from the many planets also, but you'll think it's so small. When we read books actually to know more about sun, then we'll be getting that knowledge. So this is known as direct experience. So this pratyaksha pramana is actually direct. So sometimes we believe but we don't see. Actually I is equal to under root of -1. If somebody says 2 + 2 is equal to 4, we believe direct, but we are not able to. So sometimes it is there. This Mahatma Gandhi also, when he was before assassination, they said you don't go there, otherwise you'll be killed. So these are formulas are there. So many nickel, that the salt which we are eating, NaCl, there is a two compound is there, NaNCl. Are we able to see those compound? So like there are many things are there we believe but we actually don't see. We believe okay, Mahatma Gandhi was there also here, but we are not seeing also. Like that, this our experience also is actually not perfect. Why our senses are not perfect? We'll come to that. We are not able to see. So there are 4 defects usually in our senses. What are those? These are the 4 defects which we are having. So our senses are usually imperfect, and our senses commit mistakes, and we have that propensity to cheat other people's, and we are always in illusion. So let us discuss one more each, and then we'll be coming why we are telling this sabda pramana is imperfect, and then we'll be coming to the next 2 evidence, which is known as anumana and sabda. So this first defect, if you see, the first defect is known as our senses are imperfect. Okay, can somebody say why our senses are imperfect? It's been some examples I have given here. Anything, Sharon? Sorry,
So
Mehta.
like example, if a train from far, if we see it is very small, but if it comes in front, it is very large. Similarly, sun also, if we see now, it is very tiny, but if we go inside, then we'll get to know how big it is.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Soumya Prabhu, you wanted to say something? Okay. So, as Mataji said, it's very correct. So there are examples are also there. So if we have studied in science and physics also, if you see, there is a band of frequency of light and as well of sound is also there, which as generally a human being can hear. Beyond that, before that and after that range, usually we won't be able to see. So there is a frequency, this is known as a Vibgyor. it starts from violet to it goes to red. So this is the frequency. This is from high energy to low energy. So beyond this, actually, if you see this X-rays, this gamma rays, we are not able to see with our naked eyes. When we go to hospitals, X-rays are used to can you imagine, just it passes from down your body, and just whatever is skeleton is there, bones are there, it's take a X-ray of that, and it helps the doctor to rectify the problems in the body. So beyond like before this rays, whatever the frequency is there, and above this radio also, like we are watching TV, no, internet, and all those are, it comes under this short wave direction. Radar are there, radar through that infrared and all. Earlier when we were there in school, first came was infrareds. So when we want to transfer one data from one phone to another, I don't know, you people might not have seen also, at those times, first came was infrared transfer. So through infrared, we used to touch each phone, and then did the data used to transfer. Then came Bluetooth. Bluetooth was no need to touch over the air. So the air used to do that, comes under the radar. So like that, there are different wavelengths are there which we are able to see. So similarly, if you see the sound frequency in which we are able to see is known as a decibel. So humans have that particular sounds. Beyond that, they won't be able to listen to. So beyond any 20 decibels, they won't be able to hear. And after the 20,000 decibels, they won't be able to hear. So that's the reason this small animals will be the small, the dogs usually, if you see, they're like very attentive. A small fraction of second will be there, they will be able to hear everything. The dolphins are there, they are prone to hear those things. So there are animals which will be belonging to that categories. Cat, dog, and the dolphins, are the frequencies of the any small ultrasounds will be there. That's the reason, if you see, the tiny bombs will be there, which they deploy usually the dogs to test this if any bombs are there for the security reason. So that's the reason, if you see, our senses are very imperfect, and we are very proud of our eyes actually. We are very proud, and we say whatever we are seeing actually, we think, okay, that's the reason it's very perfect. So sometimes people ask also this question, can you show me a God? So Srila Prabhupada used to say, do you have eyes to see actually God? Actually, if I am there right now, you might be there in your room. Your other family members might be there in the other room of your room of your flat or your house. You're not able to see with your eyes, but doesn't mean that they are not there. So that's what Srila Prabhupada used to say. We can't see our hands also. I suppose right now I am giving a class. We are able to see because of electricity right now, because the sun have gone down into the horizon, and then our room will be becoming very dark. Until unless we don't put on our light, we won't be able to see our hand also. So what power actually we have to see the God? So we know that's what is the first defect is there. That's the reason he's saying our senses are very imperfect. Yeah, somebody saying something. Okay, no, let's discuss about the second defects which we are having. The second defect is known as to be illusioned. Who wants to say something? Ashwani Mataji, you want to say? Ashwani Prabhu, what does anything? There is nothing wrong and right. Please feel free to add your points. It's a two-way communication. Or any other Mataji and Prabhuji. Mahita Mataji, what do you understand?
Yes. Prabhuji, for an example, humans will always be illusioned by many things. For example, we could take a rose. By admiring its beauty, once if we just do not look at the thorns and hold it, then we are the one who is going to be hurt. So we are illusioned by it. So that is one of the defects in human beings.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Yashika Mataji wanted to add some points. Please go ahead.
Yes, Prabhuji. There are some things like which are not actually there, but we feel it because we want it. There are some illusion things. Like there is an example of mirage in desert.
Perfect.
We continuously search for water. We want water, that's why we see it.
Yes, very good point. Any other devotees? They want to add some point. There are other examples as well. Whatever, there is nothing wrong and right. We are just trying to discuss, and that this is the Bhakti Vriksha. It's not a one-way class. You should be also be telling. Yeah. So the second one is Srila Prabhupada is to say the second defect of a human being is known as to be illusioned. So actually, illusion means Maya, means all the human beings. Actually, what Maya is that Prabhupada is to say what is not actually. Maya means we jo nahi hai, what is not, the thing which is not there. So we in this material world we are searching for a happiness. We want to always be happy, but actually we are not so happy. Why it is there? So every human being, he understood to be this body, but they don't understand that they are the proper soul. And that's the reason if I asked you who are you, and then they will be saying, okay, yeah, I am this John, I am so rich person, like I am this, I am that, and all these are like bodily conception or bodily identification which Srila Prabhupada used to say. But actually we are not this body. This is actual, the real that we consider ourselves for this body. We can see this example as Mataji says, there is a mirage. So if you go to a desert, you will be getting a lot of thirsty, and because of that oasis, you'll be thinking, okay, there, just if you walk ahead of some distance, you'll be able to find the water. But actually that's an illusion. That's a you will be walking and you won't be able to find the water. So if you buy actually an orange also, so any fruits, not or orange also, any fruits, if you buy from outside, you will be thinking, oh, it's so nice actually. And when you cut it, then you'll be able to see whether it's good or bad. So similarly, the same orange are there, some might be sour, some might be sugar. So it's just like that. And sometimes you can see this rope is just looking like a snake. Sometimes we have do some prank also at our home. The toys will be like, it just looks like a snake, and then we throw it in front of our family members and they will be like running away, oh snake, snake, and then we were, oh, this is a rope only. And we seeing what is religion. The see, the water, the quality of the water is that Krishna also tells, the water which we are drinking, the taste of the water is me. So we're saying the water is same. The same water when we touch, actually in the winter season, right now it's a winter season, we feel, I know the people who are there in the north, actually they can correlate with that, how cold in the morning the water is there. And for the people who are there in the south, not so much cold is there. So when I was also there at home, I was wearing 5-6 clothes. Here it is like one kurta is enough. So the same see, the same water when we are touching that is like we are feeling warm, and the wind, the same one. And the same water, the warm water which was giving you pleasure, actually we don't want to touch in when in the summer season is there. We want actually in the summer season the water should be cold, then it should be getting the pleasure. So that's they say, to be illusion means that the person is always searching, there is always in Maya, and that's he is believing what actually is not. Let us see the third defects. The third defect is to commit mistake. Actually, we all human beings actually commit mistakes. Nobody can say that they don't commit mistakes. So if you go with a scientific person also, brain like has an organ to actually cool the blood also. So if you see this one, a pituitary gland is there, actually that is a thought process is there. It's a saying, actually it's a useless brain will be thinking, but it's a thing, no, this pituitary gland is very important. It's just like a pea size. Right now there is a season of peas there. If you see there's a pea size, if this pituitary gland doesn't function properly, it will affect all your vital parts of your like brain, skin, energy, and mood and all things. It is the master gland because it tells other glands to release the hormones. And it's when we're talking about the why people are having that all people actually commit mistakes. Why? Can somebody say? Okay, who are those devotees who haven't committed any mistakes in their life? At least for me, I have committed a lot of mistakes in our mind life also. So we see Srila Prabhupada used to say to err, E-double-R. Err is a human. Galtiya karna manush ka swabhav hai. Why is there? Example that Mahatma Gandhi also, he didn't actually listen. He wanted to go to Delhi, and if he could have listened, he wouldn't have been got killed. So it's a saying, Manush, the person, human being is there. It's a saying, their swabhava, their the nature is to do what we say to do mistakes will be there. Like when we are cooking, sometimes in place of salt we add sugar, and instead of because somebody doesn't have a perfect knowledge also, it's because of the knowledge also they commit mistakes, and because if they know also they commit mistakes. So if you see, what are these actually? Vedas are known as a knowledge. So any knowledge if you accept in Veda is known as original knowledge. So insan, this human beings have lot of deficiencies in themselves. Difference between why these four types of deficiencies which we are discussing is, that's why the reason this human beings is there known as conditioned soul. And what is the difference between conditioned soul and liberated soul? This, we are conditioned soul, and conditioned soul has this four defect. And we think because of these four defects, we think, okay, we are this body. So this is that first defect of this conditioned soul is there. The fault is there. We think that we are this body. So that's what we commit lot of mistakes in our daily to daily life also. And sometimes the mistakes is very much big and we regret in the later point of also. The fourth one, it's very self-explanatory also, propensity to cheat. Can somebody say what they understood from the slide?
Cheating in exams, Prabhuji.
At least I have also done in my childhood. To be very honest, we used to also, sometimes teacher used to write in our hands and then go, and then teacher used to, so show me your palm, and then she says, oh, go and rub and come again. And then I used to say, and the same question if they used to come in the school exam time, then you say, oh, 5 marks gone. Yeah. So any other points, devotees? We have seen our own family members, own friends actually cheat ourselves. So that's the fourth defect is there. The propensity to, yeah, somebody wanted to say something.
Yes, Prabhuji, like taking money and just cheating and running away.
Yes, so that is very wonderful. Bhai, say this is definitely, you give me 1 day, within 1 day I'll give you back money, and that's why they said they will, where they will go, we don't know also. So this is known as cheating propensity. Usually this people is known as dhoka dena. Dhoka dena will is there, they will be there. Everyone has this propensity actually to cheat other peoples, to make profit out of them. So saying, Srila Prabhupada is to say, somebody will be fool number one. Somebody is like a fool number one, is that like out of fool also he will be in the top quality, but he will show like that he is a very intelligent person, though he's a fool, but he will show like he's the ultimate the most intelligent person in the world. So that's the reason, because of this maya he makes mistake, and then there's a saying, he cheats others also. Then he thinks, okay, this is not, and then what he gives, though he is there in the same position, he tries to cheat her, right? What he says, this Bhagavad Gita also, if you take an example, Srila Prabhupada is to say, if you see this Bhagavad Gita as it is, why it has been sold most vividly, because Srila Prabhupada has presented this knowledge how it was told to Arjuna. He haven't changed. So many peoples, because of they interpreted the shlokas and they write their own commentaries just for their what we say, for their own sense. So this writing books on this philosophy is also being himself, because he's this people are defective, and this is one kind of disease is also that is cheating. And then they write Bhagavad Gita in their own meaning. And the best example which we see, like lot of okay, how many devotees have buy from Amazon sale and all? People like shopping, I guess. A lot of Matajis are there. How many Matajis like shopping? Have you buy from online right now? If you see, from 5 to 6 years, actually a lot of online shopping is there. Yeah, Mahita Mataji have raised. Mataji, you want to say something?
Prabhuji, we online shop a lot, and
Okay.
there are a lot of frauds going on too that made us lose our money, but still, we still shop a lot.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say, Mataji, was that like I also do online shopping, and we generally go with that flaws. Okay, discounts are there. The same T-shirt, the same shoes, or the whatever you are going to buy. Actually, what does this online company does is the T-shirt, the price is 100 rupees. They will mark as 400 rupees, and they will sell you at 50% discount. And we will be buying, oh, 50% discount. That psychology will be there. And the same T-shirt will be buying at 200 rupees, and then we'll be thinking, oh, I have got such a big deal. And see, people usually, that's how they try to advertise, they try to cheat and make profit out of that. If they will be selling every customer on a big discount, then how they will be running the business? Think on those. So that's why these are the four defects which a human being will be having, and that's the reason because of these 4 defects. Actually, when we have these 4 defects, how can knowledge be without defects is in Pratyaksha Pramana. We have discussed that in Pratyaksha Pramana is the direct evidence which we see. So we can conclude also that we have imperfect senses, and that leads to illusion, and due to which we commit mistakes, to hide mistake on one, to cheat others. So that's where, because of these 4 inherent defects, we cannot get perfect and complete the knowledge through Pratyaksha Praman. Pratyaksha Pramans means through direct senses actually will be hearing. Let's see the second pramana which we were talking about. The second pramana is known as Anumana Pramana, by inference. So Srila Prabhupada used to say, okay, somebody wants to read. Okay, I'll request Rahul Prabhuji, if it is possible, you to read this English line. One line is there. Haribol.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
A
Prabhu.
practical example of Anumana, Pramana, or wild speculation. Darwin's theory that possesses the idea that human beings might be evolved from apes. Darwin tried to find out how life came into this universe with all his researches. He finally admitted that he resorted to wild imaginative speculations. He says to himself in the introduction of his books, in his book, The Origin of Species.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu, for reading it. So we might have seen there are so many philosophers are there. There are so many scientists are there. If you open any chemistry books or something like that, there will be Dalton theories. There will be so many theories are there. So in 1500 BC, some scientists came and they said, okay, this theory is which I have written down is correct. And after that 100 again, 1 century passed away, and then a different scientist came. Oh, say this person, what they have said, it was completely wrong. If you add this one, this is correct. Like this, we see how many they try to go on doing experimentation. And this actually Anumana is known as inductive knowledge. So in Hindi we say tark, like the inference on those topics. And they, it's known as a tark, means this hypothesis, or there is a estimation is there. This Anumana was this Darwin theory also. They said like we came from the apes is there. But in the same book, after certain times when they read, they said no, actually that was a hypothesis is there. So this it may, like this theory says it may be like that, or it may be like this and that. So that is kind of suggestion actually, that is not perfect actually. In our mathematics problems also, in daily to daily life, when we solve any question or problem, we say okay, let us find x, let us assume x is equal to this, or y is equal to this, and then we try to find the solution. So in our life too also, these are the second one, which is known as Anumana. Means sometimes we will say, okay, sometimes when we are getting late in our daily to daily life also, suppose if you want to catch a bus, train also, somebody will say, can you tell me what time is the train? The train was, means maybe it might be like that when we don't have that knowledge, or something like, oh, the train might be then. When we reach to the station, we say the train has already left. So that's what is Anumana Praman means. Actually, to find like on the based on hypothesis, there are a lot of experiment which is done, and they do. Why we are saying that, will be coming into this result. There are a lot of examples we can see. Anumana Praman is there. If I ask you distance between your home and place of work, until and say if you don't measure on a daily basis, but still if I ask you, if we had this GPS and all, they'll be saying okay, it might be a hypothesis, will be saying okay, the best example is their amount of salt you want to put in a curry. Or say, sometimes when we cook, we call mummy, I want to cook this one. You tell me how many we should do this. So mom will also say, okay, exact amount we can't we do, and based on the experience and based on that one, we'll be coming to know, we'll be knowing okay, perfect salt, how many we should be adding. So sometimes it the salt might be more, sometimes it might be less also. So this is like a Anuman, or like a hypothesis based on that knowledge will be there. If I asked you number of steps which you have walked today, so means if it doesn't, if you somebody doesn't have a smart watch also, so like you think okay, I have walked this much. Nowadays smart watch also doesn't calculate. If even if you are sitting also, you just try to rotate your hand, it will automatically calculate the number of steps. So this is like based on that you will be experimenting, and then you will be coming. So the best example of this Anumana Pramana is there also. this is a example of this is there. One time you might have heard this story also. It's been a lot of schools, this corporates actually use this story. So what happens actually, once this there was a six blind men was there, and they were all studying in the blind school. And when they came across an elephant, actually for the very first time in their life, because the blind actually they are not able to say, so somebody said, in front of you actually there is a very giant elephant is there. So what this all six friend actually did was, they tried to touch all the parts, different parts of the elephant. Each one of them started describing very enthusiastically, like, okay, what they thought the elephant. The first one who touched the side of the elephant actually exclaimed, it is like a wall. See, you can see it is, the stomach is very actually like very tight. So he's saying, this is saying, okay, this is very like a wall, which appears that it may fall sometimes, because if you see touch the stomach of the elephant, it will be like what we say, because of breaths and all, it will be expanding, and then that's the reason he's saying this wall may fall down any time actually. And the second man who was touching the actually this tusk, he said, oh, it is actually very round actually. He started thinking, okay, it is very round one, and very smooth and sharp is there. Who touched this third person, this one. Then third one touched that this trunk one, and then they said, I don't understand, that elephant is like a snake, is like very soft, and it's like revolving around this, and this he thought like this is arrow is there, and like that. And this other friend said, no, 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 whatever you are telling is not a snake actually. Is Then he said, no, no, it looks like an ass, the ear they saw. And then the fifth person who heard the like tail, actually when they said it's like a rope, and the last person who was touching this feet actually, no, 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 this is actually like I'm embracing a tree actually is there. So like this, if you see this, all this 6% based on their perception was touching each thing, and then everyone was starting fighting. No, 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 they were arguing, and then they said, no, no, the elephant is like this, elephant is like that. So actually a learned man came, and then he was feeling, he was having hearing all this conversation, and then actually he gave a complete description of the elephant, and then all the six blind men felt satisfied. Do you think that these six people were actually wrong, because they had this one aspect of the truth, but they are not getting the whole truth actually, because their senses of seeing this capacity was limited. Even if we have that eyes of 20/20 vision, there is a, if you go to means doctors, there is a power will be there 20/20 also vision. We cannot actually see. We might have seen, even if you are standing on a straight road, up to certain distance we'll be able to see. If you are in your room, you will be able to see certain distance. If you go to on top of the floor, you'll be able to see a more, but up to a limit. So we can't see actually everything, we can't feel also everything, we can't experience also everything. Therefore we have to speculate, oh, this might be like this. So one fellow might speculate like that, and I'm only seeing the trunk, but it may be a 5 mile long pipe. Might be somebody made the touch the leg and say, I am only touching this expert, and expect that elephant has a 5 mile long pillar like that. So like that they go on speculating, and then their sons does actually. So how to is that, then example is also there. Okay, devotees, let me know when you're once you're able to hear also the sound I've enabled. Can somebody please confirm if they are able to hear
Yes.
the sound as well? Okay,
Yes,
let us watch this video then. Okay, devotees, that was a short video. What did you understand from this video?
Prabhuji,
Haribol.
right?
Yes, Mahita Mataji.
Not sure what that animal is, but then that animal wanted to work out. So it just kept running, and then it saw a treadmill and tried to run on it, but didn't know how it actually works. So after a few tries, it figured out how it works. After that, after it tried, it was just too fast for it. So it just got too angry and reckless and just threw away the parts of it and died.
Yes, very good. It's not that, it's just a part of the video I've just taken. So we have seen in this video, not what is there. So if you buy anything in your house also, it comes with a manual actually. So if we don't go through that manual case, if you're buying a phone or if you're buying an oven or any stuffs, so when we go through that manual of that case to know the knowledge, to know that how to use actually, what happens, it gives damages to the user. So this animal or any persons might be also the, if he or she doesn't know how to operate that machine, what happens, it will be incurring damages to them. And moreover, this, it might be dangerous to the surrounding also. It sometimes they might, and the oven, or sometimes they are hitting, and then it will explode also in the oven. If you don't, there are some elements you don't, are not supposed to put into that. So what is there, we should be having the knowledge which is coming from that authority. If you're not hearing this knowledge, if you're not reading those knowledge, and then we are operating, what will happen, it will you will be in trouble. So that's what a small example is about. This knowledge is very important. Without knowledge, you won't be able to do your day-to-day real life also. That comes with that third kind of evidence of the knowledge, which is known as sabda praman. So Sabda Praman means hearing from the authority. So Sabda Praman is the process of gaining knowledge by hearing from a bona fide authority who is free from the four defects, as we have discussed. What are the four kind of defects which we have discussed? Okay, one each devotee can tell what is the first defect which we have discussed. Ashwani Mataji, is it possible to say what was the first defect which we have discussed? Balram Prabhu.
Senses, smell senses, like illusioned.
What only one will try to give the devotees also. Yes, the senses are imperfect. The first one. The second one, who wants to give it a try? Yes, defects of is illusion. Sanjay Prabhu says that we human beings will be always in illusion. The second one. What is the third one?
Committing mistakes.
Yes, Mataji, perfect. Committing mistake. What is the fourth one?
Cheating tendency.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So, is the saying a person, Sabda Praman, is the process of gaining knowledge by hearing from a bona fide authority who is free from this free defects. We human beings are being, due to illusions, we are having this defect which we have discussed. As a learned man, in the previous, we have also seen what are this fears. Maybe a one question is also there. What was the first dish you have prepared, and from whom did you learn actually? This is an interesting question. Mataji will be having, Ashwani Mataji, or maybe I also know cooking. I learned from my friend actually. I still remember when I was there in college, and I was feeling very hungry. So I asked my friend how we need to prepare, and he said, okay, you take rice. The first thing I prepared was rice, dal and curry. So when I chopped on this potato curry I was making, so what happened? I put down a little bit of oil, and then after that I put down a potato, and then I saw that what happened, the oil was completely absorbed in this potato, and then the little bit of oil more will be there, and that like that keep on it adding, and it was like it was the oil was more, and then the potato started frying in that. And that's I got to learn. When my friend came, they said this is not the way which we need to do like this. And then the dal also which I made the first time, it was like I don't know how much of water needs to be added, and then the friend thought, okay, whatever amount of the dal you are taking, the double amount should be water will be there. If you can more, and then we can do a tarka how much we want to there. So like that we have seen. So that was this. And so just I have given a hint. Maybe you want to answer anyone devotees. What was the first dish which you have prepared and from whom you have actually learned? Yes, Rupa Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. At first, I have prepared a tea. I learned from my grandmother, and then I learned to prepare roti, but it was also not like roti.
Yeah, thank you, Mataji. Ashwani Mataji, anyone can answer. This is an open question. Why means we'll be able to relate with your daily to daily life. That's the reason I'm asking this question. In order to
Prabhuji,
explain this. Yes, Ashwani Mataji.
Prabhuji, I learned making chapati roll,
Okay.
round one.
Okay.
From
Means who
my
gave you this knowledge?
sister-in-law.
Sister-in-law. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you,
Anyone
Prabhuji.
wants to try? Since Mataji was there, a lot of Mataji, so I raised her. Okay. Balram Prabhu, please, you might have also cooked something. So don't feel something. You can also add.
No, I also usually cook on Sundays. I only cook. So I learned preparing rice paisam. So for initially, first time when I cooked, I put all the raisins and everything in and I cooked. And when I poured the milk, the milk got what you say?
Boiled, overflow.
No, it
Burnt.
break.
Okay.
Break. So then my mother told that no, first you have to boil it with milk, and last when you will take the pan, at that time you have to put the raisins and that what you say other nuts, etc. Then it will come, that it will not break. That's what.
Yeah. Thank you, Balram Prabhu, for sharing. Ganga Mataji says, I learned to prepare upittu from my mom. Yashika Mataji says, I think there is one more conclusion in this video. Yes, Mataji, that is also one perception, what you said. There are many other points, but we are sticking on that like particular why this we showed is that importance is there because of the Sabda Pramana. I showed that video. For many things we can conclude many things, and each things we can learn actually. Okay, Hema Mataji or Sanjay Prabhu, you want to answer this question? What was the first dish which you prepared, and what was you learned from whom?
Prabhuji, can I answer?
Yes, Maita Mataji, please.
I learned how to make egg fry from my cousin. That's because all of my parents were out and it was only me and my cousin. So we decided to watch a movie and then we didn't have popcorn. So there were a lot of eggs. So he taught me how to make egg fry so that we can eat it together and watch a movie.
Nice, Mataji. Okay,
Hi,
Hema
Krishna
Mataji, you want
Prabhuji.
to answer? Yes, Mataji.
I learned this chapati, how to make chapati. So in the beginning, like I used to able to make a proper round, but I was not knowing like how to bake that properly. So like how to cook that properly. So whenever I used to cook, it used to become like a papad. Then later I learned. So basically, I learned from my mom, Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so all the devotees have answered very wonderfully, and that's what he's saying. In order to learn anything, we are hearing first. If you see, when we are making anything or when we are learning, so what we are having to gain that knowledge, we are hearing from a bona fide person. It might be anything. It will be there, and those person will be expert on that knowledge, and that's the reason we are able to hear. So this sabda means the knowledge from this authority source that is actually perfect. Example, if you take maybe a radio station, if you might a radio station might be there. So in the olden days, now we have the phone, we can see the telecast, okay, what the tomorrow weather will be there. In the olden days when we used to have in schools and all, used to hear this forecast from that radio, okay, tomorrow there is a tendency it might be there, it might be rain, or there is a 99% of probability is there that it will rain. And that's what will happen, we used to accept it, and then what will do, the rain used to come. That's what example of this authority means adhikar, then adhikar is there. How we can understand? So Srila Prabhupada used to tell a very wonderful example. Actually, if a child wants to know who is his father, so what he or she will be doing? Can somebody say?
So you can repeat the question.
So if a child actually want to know who is his father, his or her father, what
Need
he
to
or she
ask
will do?
the mother. Need to ask the mother, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes. So that is the known as a Sabda Pramana. So if he or she ask directly, go and ask to her mother, what will happen? The mother will be telling, okay, this is your father. So whatever the mother says, actually that is known as a authority. So actually Prabhupada is to say this mother is known as an authority. But sometimes what happens when we go and tell about this subjects or anything also, they want proof. Some atheists will be there, they will be wanting proof. Okay, can you show me proof? So what is there? The other way of proof is there, which is known as experiment. So what we need to do? We need to. Okay, somebody saying something. Okay, Rupa Mataji, you want to say something? Okay, yeah, I might be. So what I was saying, the second way is to do an experiment. The second experiment is there. If you go to that hospital and take the DNA of the child and the father, you will come to a same conclusion that he or she is being born from the same father. So that is another way which is doing the experiment and then going to that conclusion. If you ask your mother, which is the direct authority, no need to go anywhere and then come to a conclusion or go to an extreme. So like that, what is the authority? If you see here, what is that authority or the adhikar for gaining the knowledge is direct from the hearing from the authority. So what is that? That comes to the topic. Authority for the spiritual matters is the Vedas. So if you read all these Vedas, Athar Veda, Rig Veda, Sam Veda, Yajur Veda, you will be coming to know this is the source of knowledge actually. So the common factor what Srila Prabhupada used to say, this is like a human being should be asking questions. He write one of his book. We discussed last time also, when a child asks questions towards his father also, what is that? What is that? He used to give all those answers. And then suddenly this child used to ask, oh, father, are you married? And then everybody used to laugh and then say, okay, how can we explain is there? So this one, if you see this actually, Vedas actually is the mother. This Vedas is the mother. And who have written this Veda? Brahmaji. So Brahmaji have written this Veda and he is the father actually. So Brahma is the first living entity, and from Brahma Narad came and Narad Bhagavan, and that's how the parampara and the source of this knowledge transfers it. That's why Vedic knowledge is Guru actually. And we come under to the Sisya Parampara, and that's why it comes down. So if you see, this Vedic knowledge is known as Sabda Pariman. So Sabda means actually what we have discussed is hearing directly from the authority. And Lord Brahmaji, whom from he heard? He heard from Lord Krishna. And the second name of this Vedic knowledge is actually known as Shruti. So what does this Shruti means? The knowledge or the gyan has to be received from hearing. As a child hears from his ears that her mother told that he or she this person is your father. We don't need to go and experiment. If you read Canto 5 of Srimad Bhagavatam, and if you read entire Bhagavad Gita and this Vedas also, what will be there? How this material world is there? Everything is been the distance between from earth to sun. That's what each and everything is given. And what does that scientist and philosopher do? That's the same thing. They do experiment and then they do. I remember when we were there in the child, the 9th planet in our solar system, which is known as Pluto. So in the standard 4th and 5th, we used to hear in our geometry box, so Pluto used to be there. And then as I went to higher secondary school, then again that news came like, oh, Pluto is no planet is there, it's been extinct, like the scientists is not able to do some experiment. Then after again 5 years is saying they are able to see something. So that's one in a hypothesis. The third second thing which we had, Anuman also they are saying, and then they are experimented, which is already present where? In the Shastra, it is already mentioned. If somebody reads the Shastra and that's authoritative, it will be able to conclude like a mother is saying the direct one. So it is saying the Shruti, the Veda tells actually to understand what is the transcendental knowledge. When we hear from this authoritative, this is known as Pramanik Gyan. This, the transcendental knowledge is actually beyond this universe. Beyond, we are thinking, okay, we are human and we are living in this universe, but we are actually more than that. This universe have been divided into two things. What is that? One is known as material knowledge, with which you can earn this bread and butter. The second one is known as spiritual knowledge. So if you know this all knowledge, how to get this all knowledge, until unless how to experiment, it is not possible actually. You can do something experiment, but after sometimes you'll be coming to a conclusion. We see how many scientists are given life and life to the whole experiments, and that's also they are not able to conclude also. So Srila Prabhupada used to say the scientists are thinking to go on the moon, but they are not able to reach to the nearest stars also, because in the Bhagavatam it's a saying, what to talk about that spiritual world which we are, Srila Prabhupada used to say, Lord Krishna. So this material world where we are living is 1/4 of the 3/4 of the material world. So isliye we say this Vedas, we need to take the shelter of this Veda. So this is known as Vedic knowledge. So as I said, there are two kinds of knowledge. One is material and one is spiritual. So Vedas are not the compilation of the human knowledge. So we say in this school or whatever we are studying, doctor or engineer or lawyers or whatever it is. So these Vedas are actually, this knowledge is coming directly from where? This knowledge is coming from directly from this spiritual world. It's not the world. This Vedas is being saying directly from the word. Let's see. Okay, who wants to read this sloka? Let's request Shushmita Mataji. Is it possible to read? We have covered in this in Bhagavad Gita also. You can read in Hari Bol. Mataji, you are there? Balram Prabhu, what want to read? Okay,
Yes,
Shushmita Mataji.
Sarvasya Shaham Ridhi Shannivishto Matah Smritir Jnanam Apoham Cha Vedal
Vedascha Sarvair.
Sarvair Aham Eva Vedayo Vedanta Krit Veda Vid Eva Chaham. I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me come remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Thank you, Prabhu. Prabhuji, this thing we have learned in 18 days or so, no? 1 day?
Yes, Prabhu. So 15th chapter, we have covered this shlokas also. So that's what I told. This Bhakti Vriksha is a compilation of all the books. And why we have put this Vedas are known as Apurusha. So we know when Vyasdev, he wrote this complete all the 4 Vedas, he was actually not happy. When Narad Muni came and when he asked, actually, what happened? Why you are not happy? So in the Vedas, if you see, all problems of your life, whatever you are going through, it's mentioned there. So what people used to do, they used to only read those things which for them the problem was. If somebody is suffering from some disease, if you do this some puja, what will happen? This disease will go. If you are suffering from poverty, you do this puja, it will go. If you are suffering from you don't have a house, you do something and then you will get. So what will happen? People, instead of getting the knowledge, they started doing this karma kanda. Karma kanda is known as what you want, you do. And that's the reason Vyasdev was not happy, and that's the reason he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. And when he wrote the Srimad Bhagavatam, is the complete nectar. It's only talks about real bhakti, how we can achieve the Lord. It doesn't talks about this. So that's the reason when he, after writing, he felt happy because he have glorified the Lord in that Vedas. If you say, that's the reason Krishna in this Bhagavad Gita says, from I am sitting in everyone hearts, and from me 3 things comes: remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. We think like okay, what we are, why we are not able to remember it. It's from this Krishna is saying the most important is saying Vedascha sarver aham vedyo vedanta krit veda vidam. So saying by all the Vedas, I am to be known. So somebody reads this all 4 Vedas, actually, after reading the complete Vedas, will be coming to the conclusion that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead and we should be worshipping him only. And Krishna is here in Bhagavad Gita himself is saying, I am to be known while reading this Vedas. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedanta and I am the knower of the Vedas. Because Lord, when the Brahmaji came into this material world, it says saying, he was the first jiva in this material world and he was not able to see. It was very pitch dark. It's mentioned in second canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam and third canto how this creation was done. So it's Brahmaji was very like bewildered where I am there and what I am doing. And then what Brahmaji did actually, he said, okay, I'm coming from this stem. Let me go inside the stem and see where I'm coming from actually. And then he, for crores of years, he went inside the dawn, and though he was not able to reach half of that, and then he was bewildered, and then he said, who am I, what I am doing here? And then inside a voice came inside that stem and says, tapa. Then he went ahead and then meditated on that lotus feet for millions of years again, and that is the tapa means dhyan. And then the Lord actually appeared in front of him and he gave this knowledge how to write this knowledge, how you can create this entire universe. And then how Lord Brahma then wrote this complete what we say Vedas. And then how we have seen this Brahmaji will be also holding. And we think like, okay, our in this material world where we are living, actually the Brahmaji have a 51 years of age is there, and there are 4 head of Brahmas. If we go to a different planets or different Brahmanda, there are Brahmas which is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. There are 10 heads of Brahmajis, there are 100 heads of one. Because when Brahmaji got this false ego, when he went to that Goloka Vrindavan to meet one time Krishna. So he said, told the gatekeepers, tell the Lord that Brahma have came. Then Krishna, he knows because of the, just to break his false ego, he went and asked, which Brahma you tell? Then he was saying, there are others Brahma also apart from me. And then when he saw this, he was like 10, 100, 8,000 sets of Brahmas were also there. And then he said like, it's very difficult to actually, yeah. So yeah, Aparushya means Prabhuji asked Sanjay says this Vedas are actually known as Aparushya. Aparushya means it's not made by us actually. So we shouldn't be taking this Vedas as an ordinary mental speculation book or something like that. No, it's a perfect knowledge. Through this knowledge only Brahmaji have created this entire world, and this knowledge was coming from the Lord Krishna himself is there. How we can understand is there, like we'll take an example also. Is accepting Vedas simply a blind faith? A question might be coming sometimes when we go and ask. We doesn't ask in the school 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. We don't raise question, or we say okay 2 plus 2 is equal to 5. We accept whatever people tell. When but it comes to spirituality, can say, can you prove us, can you show where it is somebody has told and all. So that's the reason Krishna here in this is saying this Vedas I am to be known, and I have written this Veda. I'm the compiler of this whole Vedanta. Okay, sometimes we are people will be saying, oh, you are doing this blind, or you are having this blind faith is there. Okay, Rupa Mataji says, I'm a Vedic learner. Whatever you said is true about Vedas. Yes, Mataji, it's there. In the 3rd chapter of Bhagavad Gita also, if you read, it's known as a Karma Kanda. It's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam also, it's mentioned there. So it's talks about not only Srimad Vedas, there are other literatures. There are 18 Puranas are also there, and in which it talks about it. That's the reason Vyasdev was not happy, and then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. If we have Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, no need to read all other scriptures. So you might have seen some might be people might have traveled in flight, or some might have traveled in bus, or some might have traveled in what we happen train. So do you go and ask the pilot to show the license before you fly? We have the blind faith. Okay, does somebody have done till in their life they have bought the ticket and then they just boated on the train, bus or flight? They know, okay, well, whoever is driving, we don't have seen also. Sometimes only in the bus, sometimes we might be able to see the driver, and in case in the train. But sometimes if you're already boarded in that what we say flight, we won't be able to see the pilot also sometimes. But do we go and ask the pilot license before flying? No. Even when we are unwell, actually we rest our complete life in the hand of the doctor or the surgeons, whatever disease we are having. we have that faith that okay, this surgeons won't be okay if they are operating off my kidney, so they won't be taking out my liver. Actually, we are having that blind faith, but when it comes to about this accepting the Vedas, what we happen, we do reasonings, and then we say, no, no, it's not like that. Who have said like that? Can you show me God? And thus these questions will be coming. So there is like a difference between this blind faith and versus reasonable faith. So faith is of two types actually: reasonable faith and blind faith. This reasonable faith is what we can say is sensible plus verifiable. So reasonable faith consists of two aspects. Sensible means credential, reputation, and credibility, and then it will be then verified what we are able to see those from this. So Srila Prabhupada used to say, one time, this like many examples they used to give, and the people used to saying, so everything is actually inconceivable. The truth is revealed only to a proper person who is having the faith in the Shastra. To gather knowledge, actually the sources, many sources are there to gather this knowledge. There are sources, are Mahabharata are there, 4 Vedas are there, Puranas are there, Ramayana are there, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam is there. So this, the people who civilized person like us who are living, we have one disease is there. The disease is there of disbelief in the scriptures. It's we covered a story about a cobbler and that Narad Muni also. So you remember that story in which the cobbler said, this small fruit of banyan tree contains 1,000. If you see this, when this Narad Muni came and he said, what he went to a Brahmana, and then he said what the Lord was doing. He said the Lord was, he took the needle, in the eye of the needle, he was like putting the elephant there. And then the Brahmana, he said, because of this knowledge, he said, okay, no, it is not possible. How it can be there? And then he went to this cobbler and he said, yeah, it's possible. And then what we say, he said, yeah, then this cobbler, he said, from a small seed, a banyan tree sprouts. So similarly, the small fruit of banyan tree contained thousands of seeds, and each of these seeds have the potency to produce actually another banyan tree. So how it works is actually beyond our understanding. The source is actually Krishna. So when we believe in this one, then that's the reason this intelligence person or this scientist, they don't have that understanding to understand actually, and that's the reason we are not able to verify. And we know the proof is that then such a reason is that we do experiment, and then there is actually there is no question of actually experimenting. It has this whatever things is there which people are experimenting, it is already done actually. If you go also, whatever this mother have told, that is the only satya, or that is the only truth. There is no other way to verify. You go on proofing, it will take thousands of years. We have in Kali Yuga, hardly people live for 100 years also. So that's what, whatever is there in the scripture, it comes from directly from the, so some of the verifiable facts are also from the Vedas. So if you read this Canto 5, how we are come into this, there is a complete description about this embryo is there and how we have come into this. And there is a prediction about this, how Buddha will be coming, how Chanakya Pandit will be there. There is a detailed and accurate description of everything in the Fiotis is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam also, and all the scripture is there. So if you read Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a shloka is there in this Srimad Bhagavatam is there. So maybe somebody can read only this English shloka. Ashwani Mataji, would you like to read this English one only, if that is possible? Hari Bol. Ganga Mataji, Mahita Mataji, want to read? Yes, Mataji.
A foolish person who manufactures his own ways and means through mental speculation and does not recognize the authority of the sages who lay down unimpeachable directions is simply unsuccessful again and again in his attempts.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. So we're saying we have got this human form of life, and a person who is like foolish and he manufactures his own way and means through his mind, he think, okay, this is right only, and doesn't recognize the authority of the sages or the who have written this Bhagavatam, Shreda, and which is there. And they what try to do, they are whatever is there, this simply they're going on their mind direction, and they what will happen, they are becoming unsuccessful again and again, whatever is there. So it's then at the present moment, it has become fashionable to disobey this direction given by the acharyas and this liberated souls like Srila Prabhupada, who have come for the deliverance of us. So people presently are so fallen that they cannot actually distinguish between a liberated soul and a conditioned soul. A conditioned soul is hampered by these 4 defects actually, and he's sure to commit mistake. He's sure to be illusion. He has a tendency to cheat others, and this and our senses are, that's the reason it's very imperfect. So we have to take direction from the liberated person like Srila Prabhupada. This is known as Krishna consciousness. This Krishna consciousness movement is directly received by the instruction from the Supreme Personality of Godhead by a person who are strictly following this instruction. Although a follower may not be a liberated person, like my senior gurus are all senior devotee, we will be thinking, okay, he's like that, but they are not a normal person. They are like already liberated person, and they are being not in contamination of the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to say, if you accept a spiritual master, by with this blessing you will be able to, and if you follow in this Bhagavad Gita 4.334 also, we had we heard this, in when we are following our guru or our acharyas, our scriptures, will be able to go and complete in this life only, will be able to go back home, back to Godhead earth. With this, maybe I took some time to complete section 1. We'll discuss section 2. So if you come to this, whatever we have discussed, this conclusion is that real answers can be only be found actually in the Shastras. What Mataji said last week, this in only in the Shastra we will be seen. So at least try to take some vow, at least read 1 page of Srila Prabhupada books every day, and that's how the reason will be whatever doubts you are having, every doubts will be going. So second, we'll discuss about his nectar of the holy name, why we chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Let us read something about. I'll quickly, somebody can read very fast. Who wants to give it a try? Shruti Mataji, want to give it a try? Hare Bol Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Balram Prabhu, please go ahead.
Cheta means knowledge. Without perfect knowledge, one cannot act perfectly. The real source of knowledge is vacha, or sound or sound vibration, given by Vedic instructions. Here, the word vacha or vibration means Vedic vibration. The origin of creation is sound vibration. And if the sound vibration is clear and purified, perfect knowledge and perfect activities actually become manifest. This is enacted by the chanting of Mahamantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thus, Lord Shiva is praying again and again for the purification of body, mind, and activities. Through the purification of knowledge and action under pure direction of Veda, Lord Shiva prays to the Supreme Personality of Godhead so that his mind, sense, words will turn toward devotional activities only. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. So this is about that why we are chanting, what is the glory, what is the nectar which we get when we chant actually. So this Namamrita, it is known as Sri Namamrita, this perfect knowledge or the Punya Gyan actually is, and whatever we are able to do, this perfect activities is actually derived from chanting of the Mahamantra. So somebody is, it's very, just only by chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, whatever we are actually directly hearing from this our ears, which is known as Shruti. The first one is Sabda Pariman, it is coming. And when we are hearing those things on our tongue, actually, Srimati Radharani and Krishna come by themselves in their tongue. It's like a one-to-one meeting we are having when we are chanting. That's the reason we should be very attentive when we are chanting. So when you call your somebody in your house, your family members, what you do? You give some attention to them. You take, okay, you take some water. That's the reason, you believe or not, when you're chanting, Krishna personally comes and dances on your tongue. So we should be very attentive, and that's the reason we should be very Hare Krishna, whatever we are saying, it should be pronounced in a good way, and then we'll be able to hear. And that's when you're able to hear, what will happen? Automatically Cheta will come. This knowledge automatically will be coming, and without this knowledge, actually one cannot be act perfectly. No can act perfectly, because if somebody doesn't have that knowledge, he won't be able to do in a perfect knowledge. So what is this real source? Is there real source is known as this vacha or this sound vibration. When we vacha is there na? Tapa. Garbhadaksha Vishnu told to Brahmaji, tapa. When he did a tapa, then he concentrated on the sound vibration, and then he got this knowledge. And this vibration is this Vedic vibration. It is not saying is this Vedic Adesh is there. Is this mantra? Is this Adesh? The original of creation is this sound vibration. So Sri means is coming from there. The sound vibration is very clarified, and this is known as a perfect knowledge. So when we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then only will be able to possible. So Lord Brahma had this tapa, this meditation for 1000 celestial years, and one celestial years is equal to 6 into 30 into 12 into 1000 years of our years. Can you imagine? This is 1000 celestial years, and one celestial year is equivalent to this one. So if I see 3 lakh something, it will be coming of 1 year, 3 crore or something, one celestial. Then he did it for 1000 years of tapasya. Then he was able to get this knowledge. So there is no difference between Lord and Son. So if you want to also become Brahma, you can also apply for this post. We have seen in this Brahma Lok to Niche Lok, all these 14 planets, actually everyone needs to go through this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi. So if somebody is very pious, you can also apply to the post of the Brahma. But what will happen? Here we are living 100 years, there we will be living for more years, and then again you will be coming out. So that's the glory of chanting of the holy. And this Lord Shiva, Mata Parvati asked one time, whom you are meditating on? So Lord Shiva is today, I am chanting the holy name of the Lord is there. So is to say, and how we need to do mansa kama vacha. So he said through our mind, through our senses, and through our words. So when we chant this holy name of the Lord, what happens? These three, mind, body, and senses, will be getting purified and will be able to do devotional service. That's the reason if Vishnu Dutas are not coming, what will happen? This Yam Dutas will be coming, and the only 3 Dutas will be coming. So whatever activity we do through our mind, senses, and words, that's the reason only through Dutas will be coming and will be taking, and this we will be again going through beyond this birth and death. Let's come to this section 3, which is known as preaching is the action. Whatever we have learned, we try to preach to others. So what is this? Sharing is caring. So I'll request Ganga Mata ji or Sanjay Prabhu or Rupa Mata ji. Rupa Mata ji. Yes, we'll give chance to others also. Yes, Mata ji.
One who has perfectly heard from the perfect source become convinced about the all-pervading personality of Godhead, and this becomes enthusiastic in glorifying the Lord. All the great Acharyas like Ramanuja, Madhava, Chaitanya, Saraswati, Thakura, or even in other countries, Muhammad, Christ, and others have all extensively glorified the Lord by chanting always and in every place. Because the Lord is all pervading, it is essential to glorify Him always and everywhere. In the process of glorifying the Lord, there should be no restriction of time and space. This is called Sanatana Dharma or Bhagavata Dharma. Sanatana means eternal, always and everywhere. Bhagavata means pertaining to Bhagavan, the Lord. The Lord is the master of all time and all space, and therefore the Lord's holy name must be heard, glorified and remembered everywhere in the world. That will bring about the desired peace and prosperity so eagerly awaited by the people of the world. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes, thank you, Mataji. So will you be sharing that whatever you have learned? So that's the reason he's saying preaching is sharing what you have learned. So we have seen hearing, when we hear and chant, this Vedic literature will bring peace and prosperity to all the entire world. So this what when we are doing this here to means to listen, and then when we do this Nama Sankirtanam through the Santri, so everywhere what will happen, peace and prosperity will already be there. So whatever problems in your life it is there, when we take shelter of the holy name, what will happen automatically inside will be having. So a lot of acharyas have in the past also, Ramanuja, Madhvacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Lord himself have come in the form of Krishna and Srimati Radharani, and that he gave the instruction, and that's when Christ and Muhammad also they said, "Oh, I am the son of the God," and then they all praised us, and because the Lord is all pervading, it is essential. They used to glorify the Lord, and this is always and everywhere they used to remember and glorify. So we should be always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. So when we do this happen, what will happen? Krishna will also make sure that he won't be forgetting you, and at the time of death, he will make sure that somehow or either you will be able to remember him, and then you will be able to go back home, back to the, that's it. This Krishna used to say that is only one dharma, is the Sanatan Dharma Bhagavata. The Sanatan means that is eternal always, because our Atma is known as Satchit Ananda. Such means the truth. Chit means we are always eternal, and Ananda means will be there. Such means the truth. Chit means like we are always happy, and Ananda means always happy, and the chit will be there, will be always be blissful, will be there, happiness will be there. And this Bhagavata means that the Lord is the master of all the time and the space. We have seen in the 11th chapter how the Krishna has shown this Virat Rupa, and thus the holy name must be heard. So that's the reason we request all the devotees that you keep on chanting the holy name of the Lord, at least one round around, at least you start. And I guess a lot of devotees have taken Shraddhavan also, or have taken a vow to chant one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Whoever devotees have filled, please let me know. Already the certificate has been sent to your email ID. If somebody is not have taken the vow to chant one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we will be again having a Sadhya ceremony, and then we'll be. That comes to the fourth session of Shravanam. Maybe with the time, it's already 8:34. So we'll skip this section. Maybe I'll be sending you this video of Srila Prabhupada. Maybe in that what we say video. So this is a Bhakti Kit also. There are a lot of books are also there of Srila Prabhupada which you can buy. And if you have a like what we say chanting beads, if you don't have, please buy. So this is our address. Now means devotees will request you can turn on your cameras also. We'll chant one round of Mahamantra, and then we'll go for question and answer. So who are there in Bangalore, you are all invited to please come anytime, any day. Am I also there in the temple? Let me know. Any day if you are coming. Maybe if other days you are coming, we'll arrange the prasadam such that you can also have that nectar. And this is the next. If somebody has already taken, and somebody will be chanting 4 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra daily. So for them, it will be a Krishna Sevak certificate will be there. So I'll request, thank you all devotees for joining for today class. Maybe the class is not over yet, but I'll request maybe we can chant one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra together with all devotees. And thus there we'll be able to hear the source of knowledge, and we'll be able to release Krishna more. So how do you want to chant, with mantras, or we want to hear each everyone? Okay, any devotees? Should I play the music with Srila Prabhupada background chanting, or should we hear each other? And that's how we'll be able to chant more.
Devotees, Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah. So maybe I'll stop the recording.